Hello everybody, this video today is about fall prevention safety, and I am going to give you 15 tips to make your surroundings safer, to help prevent you from falling. As you all know, as we get older, we tend to get a little bit more clumsy and have a tendency to fall and trip a little more than we did when we were younger. In fact, when we were young, it didn't matter. When you're a little kid, you just get up and brush yourself off. But as we age, actually falling can be quite dangerous. You could break a bone, you could break a hip, and that has serious ramifications. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you 15 tips to help prevent you from falling. My name is Dickenson, and this channel is Reflections and Insights for Life Over 55. I hope you enjoy this type of content. If you do, please think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribing, because I'm going to be posting more of these types of videos in the future, and I hope you enjoy them and I hope you find them helpful. We're going to start with number one, which is just basically to remove obstacles around the house that can cause you to trip. Like be very careful about throw rugs. Sometimes those can stumble and trip over those. Magazine racks, say it's sticking out of the floor, maybe excessive furniture. So just clear your home of clutter on the floor. Another thing to be careful of is small pets. I'm going to show you my pets. I have a guest Labrador this week. The Labrador, actually, I don't trip over her. It's my tiny little dog that often likes to hang out right at my feet, and sometimes I've tripped over her. And I'm not saying get rid of your dogs. I'm just saying be very aware that little dogs sometimes can just stand right there when you're not expecting it. So be aware of those. So number one, just clear the clutter on the floor around your home and just avoid excess furniture that might cause you to trip. So number two is to install handrails on the staircases, or if you have a little step up, have the little handrails handy. I know I have like 3 steps to go into my garage and there's a handrail. The other thing is to make sure you always use the handrail, especially on the stairs. I know it's easy to think, oh, you know, I'm 20 and I can go up a flight of stairs without hanging on. But just let me tell you, recently, a very good friend of mine, her husband was going up the stairs, and he had his hands full and he kind of twisted wrong and fell. And he didn't fall far, he just fell on the landing. But the way he twisted, he ended up breaking like the T12 vertebrae in his back, both of these collarbones, shoulder, 6 ribs, and a tailbone. So imagine a fall like that for somebody in their 70s. He spent about 10 weeks, 2 weeks in the hospital and about another 10 weeks in a rehab center, and then he's finally got home, and they have to have a physical therapist come in for weeks and weeks for follow-up. So a fall like that can be very dangerous. It was very difficult for my friends, and they're recovering now. But if he had just been holding onto the handrail instead of carrying things in one trip up the stair, that probably wouldn't have happened. So make sure you have handrails on your stairs and steps up. But the other more important thing is make sure you always hang on to the stair handrail. I do that all the time because I know personally I'm a klutz and I could easily fall. So I've gotten to the habit of always holding on to the stairwell, especially in the garage. It's only 3 steps, but they're sharp cement steps, so I don't want to fall on that. So that's tip number 2. Number 3 is to install those handrails in your shower and in your bathroom. So my same friends that fell after he was recuperating in the hospital, my friend, his wife, ended up having one of those companies come in and they installed the handrails in the shower and the toilet. And I'm going to show you, I actually already had those handrails in my showers in my home, so I'm going to show you a clip of those. But they also had them in the bathroom and the toilet, and that's actually very good advice because you're in the toilet, many times a day. Another thing, kind of off topic, but I once did some research that said what is the very best exercise for seniors, and they said if you're only going to do one exercise, make it squats. So I try to do, and you don't have to do a lot. I mean, I remember when I was younger going to aerobics, they'd make you do 50 to 100 squats in a session and you were dying. I mean, if you could just do a dozen squats, once a day, and the reason they said this is good is because you get up and use your muscles when you're in the bathroom. So doing squats can make you stronger, less apt to have a fall, and also if you have those handrails installed in the bathroom, that's a double, prevention tip to to keep yourself from falling, because a lot of falls apparently do happen in the bathroom. So the other thing is to place no slip mats in the bathroom. Now what I have discovered is a lot of times the no slip mats, you could actually get tangled up and slip on them. So you got to be very careful. And also inside the tub, you know, they used to have these in the old days where you had like stickers that were like sandy. So put that on the bottom of the tub rather than those mats with the suction on the bottom of the tub. Sometimes those don't seem to stick that well. And then I also found that the mats on the floor, like I like to step out onto a mat, but a lot of times they get smelly or they don't really keep you from sliding. So I found these, they call stone type mats. They're more of a stone. Those are good. They're very absorbent and probably good for slip prevention. So that type of a mat in the bathtub is good. Now another thing is to paint your door sills with some type of a different color. So like as you're walking up the driveway or you know the walkway to your front door, say you have a step up, I have a step up, and I'll show you a little clip of that. But maybe if you had a hard time seeing that at night, might want to paint part of it a different color so it's obvious. The other thing you could do is get those reflective tape and just put it on there just to make sure that you visually are seeing it as you're walking so that you don't trip coming up on your door sill just stepping into the house. That would be a dangerous thing too. Now, I saw this tip, put on hip pads if you're prone to falling. And of course, this is getting back to the fact that probably the worst possibility of a fall, besides breaking every bone or, you know, 15 bones, is to break your hip. So if you do fall a lot, maybe some type of, you know, those padded underwears or something that if you would fall, that you have a less likely chance to break your hip. Now, when my mother first moved to assisted living, she was actually having memory issues. And she first moved into assisted living, she fell in the evening and couldn't get up and was on the floor all night until the caregiver came in the next morning around 9 o'clock and found her on the floor, and she'd been there all night. What was really sad is she had a life alert, but because she has such advanced dementia, she didn't realize if she would just push the button that somebody would have come. So she was on the floor the entire night from a fall and could have hit life alert and been rescued, but with the memory issue didn't understand what the life alert was for, even though it had been explained to her many times. So that's an issue. I would also suggest getting the life alert, some type of an emergency pendant if you do fall, but hopefully you won't if you follow these tips. Okay, number 7 is just to make sure your home is well lit. You might want to keep a light on at night and keep the hallway lights on all of the time. Make sure that your light bulbs are all functional. And if they're not, if you can change the ones in your lamp, that is fine. Be very leery of light bulbs that are in the ceiling, having them changed. I would avoid at all costs getting up on a ladder, which is a future tip, but have somebody help you if you need light bulbs in a high place changed, if you can get your kids to do it or a friend to get those so that you're not climbing up on a ladder to change a light bulb. That would be good. Now, number 8 is to add night lights to areas so that in the dark, which is often a place where people fall, that you have a little bit of light. So maybe in your master bedroom and your master bathroom, because that's another thing. As we age, we seem to have to get up in the night more to use the bathroom. Like I probably get up twice at night, and that's another area where you could trip. So if your area that you're frequently getting up is lit, that will help prevent a fall. Number 9 is to have your vision checked regularly. I go every 2 years to the doctor for my eye check, and they usually give me a stronger prescription for my glasses, which is a bummer, but that's very good because if you're not seeing well, that increases your risk of falling, and just also makes your life unpleasant when you can't see anything. So number 10 is to have your doctor always go to the doctor at your regularly maintenance visits, but have your doctor also check your prescriptions. If you get a new prescription, make sure they're not interacting in a way that could make you dizzy or more klutzy, tired. A lot of these drugs do have side effects, and just one drug alone, maybe if you're getting a new prescription, say, hey, is there any risk of me getting dizzy or getting tired, and know those things. And perhaps if a dizziness is a side effect, you might want to avoid that medication and try something else. Okay, number 11 is to start exercising regularly or continue exercising regularly to keep yourself strong, which can prevent falls. Now, I already mentioned the squats. Doing a dozen squats a day can help keep your lower body strong. I suggest easy exercise like walking, or maybe going to the pool and doing some, treading water, that type of stuff. So getting exercise like that. Another thing that was great for my mother back when she was able to do this is Tai Chi, because Tai Chi is like kind of slow motion. It helps keep those little muscles in your lower body firm and strong, and that helps with balance. So something like Tai Chi is good for balance and strength training. Not serious strength training, but again, squats, light weightlifting, that kind of stuff, keeping you strong will help prevent falls also. Number 12, which is kind of an add-on to number 11, is when you're exercising. If you have a hard time with balance, you can exercise from a chair. So my mother, again, when she was younger, went to Silver Sneakers, and occasionally I would join her because it was fun, and I belonged to the Y, and everybody was, 30 years older than me at the time, and I noticed a lot of them would have a chair, and they would do their stuff from the chair. And even though it's slight motion and younger people would laugh and say we're wussies, you can still move, and that would also reduce your risk of falling while exercising. Number 13, stay off the ladder. We already touched on this. Don't get on your ladder to change a light bulb. Don't get on the ladder to change the gutters. I would recommend, if you have an aged parent, to remove the ladder from their premises, because a lot of them are stubborn. I can go on a ladder if I want, and then grandpa's gone up to change the gutters and he's fallen. So falls from ladders very bad, so stay off the ladder in general. As you get over 70, say, I would recommend that as well. Number 14 is to avoid excessive alcohol. It probably seems obvious, but when we're drunk and we're tipsy, of course, that gives us a higher probability of falling. And I bet a lot of the young people that fall, probably because they've had too much to drink. So avoid drinking too much. Okay, number 15 is to download the free guide that I lifted off of the internet. I came across this guide. It was called Fall Prevention Resources for Seniors. The company that put it out is Lifeline. I have a link below. So that's it. That is my 15 tips. I hope you find this type of a video helpful for your life. If you do, please give me a like and consider subscribing, because I'm going to do more of this type of video. And my name is Dawn Dickenson. I have another channel if you're interested in Northern Arizona real estate, living in Northern Arizona. So if you want to check that one out, I'd also appreciate it. So I hope you have a great week, and I hope to see you back here again soon.